Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to our annual cemetery tour for our Historical Society. It's great to see everyone here today. It's a beautiful fall day. Today I'm going to be talking about Dr. Ambrose Treganowan. Okay, Dr. Treganowan was elected mayor on 3 separate occasions in first the township of South Amboy, which later became the city of South Amboy, as it stands today. And he was also a doctor. He was a surgeon during the Civil War. He was on the Union Army, and he served with the 14th Regiment, New Jersey Volunteers. And they saw a lot of action in Maryland and Virginia. Basically, his job in the Civil War was a surgeon with the field hospitals at the battles that the New Jersey Volunteers fought in. Okay, Dr. Treganowan was born in Cambrai County of Cornwall, England, on February 14, 1830. He was the youngest of 4 sons, and his father was John, his mother was Anna. The doctor's early education was at a select academy within the county where he grew up. The academy was run by Quakers, and the headmaster was from New York City. At the age of 14, the doctor commenced his preparation for the medical profession. He was indentured, which means he was contracted as an apprentice with a well-known surgeon about 40 miles from his home. He stayed with his apprenticeship for about 3 years, but then he yearned to go to America from the teachings of the headmaster at the school he attended. So he always wanted to go to America and basically New York City to start a new life. He left for America in 1853. He was 23 years old. Now, through my research, it sounded like the Treganowan family in England was pretty well off. When he left to go to America, his parents set him up with quite a bit of means to sustain a new life in America, with new clothing and money to get himself into the city. When he arrived in New York, he got a position in a local drugstore, working in the pharmacy department, doing English prescription department. So I guess that was something like filling prescriptions. I guess maybe they were in Latin or whatever, but he was doing it for the English language. In 1854, he went to Philadelphia to continue his medical education. He graduated from the Philadelphia College of Medicine in 1857. After his graduation, he took residence and business in Beverly, New Jersey. Now, that's down in Burlington County, so it's really not that far from Philadelphia. But his health began to fail, and his medical colleagues suggested that he move to a town closer to the seashore. So he moved to South Amboy in 1860. He moved to South Amboy. I guess the Raritan Bay must have had some very therapeutical qualities back in 1860. That's where he moved, and he stayed here, and like I said, he became involved with politics and his medical profession, and he stayed in South Amboy till his death in 1913. In 1862, he enlisted in the Union Army as a surgeon. He was assigned, like I said, to the 14th Regiment, New Jersey Volunteers. His duties were to take charge of several field hospitals. In 1864, he left the Army and continued his medical practice here in South Amboy. For many years, he was employed as a surgeon for the Camden and Amboy Railroad, then the Pennsylvania Railroad. But while he was employed by the railroad, he still kept up a practice, his own private practice in town. In 1898, he was elected the mayor of the township of South Amboy, and again in 1908, when the city of South Amboy was first incorporated. So technically, he was the first mayor of the city of South Amboy when it became the city. 1908. This is after South Amboy was 18 miles long and 6 miles wide at that time. And over the years, they sold off portions of the land: Sayreville, East Brunswick, Monroe, Jamesburg, Cranberry. That was all South Amboy Township at one time. But after they sold all the property off in 1908, it was 1 square mile, which it is today, and Dr. Treganowan was the first mayor of the city of South Amboy. In 1855, he married Constance Gordon, who passed away in 1898. In 1899, he took a second wife, Molly Stryker of Philadelphia. They had 3 daughters, Mrs. Robert Kerr, Miss Harry Mack, and Constance Treganowan, who never married and still lived in the home. They're all buried right here in this plot. His first wife, Constance; his second wife, Molly or Mary, and the one daughter is right here. Now, just when I walked up here, I just saw on the back of the stone is a Thomas Treganowan. So I kind of looked it up quick, and there's a little stone right there that says it too. It says died in 1878. But when I looked it up in one of the old citizens, it said that he was a lieutenant in the army in World War I. He was killed in a battle in France. So I don't know where that 1878, it might have been when he was born, but I just came upon that just, while I was sitting here. Okay, let's see. Dr. Treganowan died at his home at 74 Main Street. So now there is no 74 Main Street today, but through my research, when I found out when his second wife had passed away in 1940, what it is today is 250 Main Street. So that's between Stevens Avenue and Christ Church on that side of Main Street. So, Dr. Treganowan died at his home, like I said, 74 Main Street, now 250 Main Street, on March 15, 1913. Page here, excuse me. During his life here in South Amboy, he was a well-liked professional man. Like I said, he held the office of mayor at 3 separate times. He was well noted in the church. He belonged to Christ Church. He was also well noted for taking care of indigent families that couldn't pay him for his medical services, but he just did it for free. And he was a well-liked man. On a sad note, on February 9th, 1940, his second wife, Mary or Molly Stryker, passed away at the age of 90. 3 days later, on Monday, February 12th, 1940, their daughter passed away, Constance. So it was like 3 days later, the daughter died. And like I said, they're all buried here. And she was in ill health, and basically they said that the mother's passing had a lot to do with her passing. So that's the story of Dr. Ambrose Treganowan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?